So we'll get going in about 30 seconds. We're just coming up to 7 o'clock. So for this one, strap or resistance band, blanket or cushion, we're going to start laying down on the floor, fully reclined. So feel free to come down to your mats or just get comfortable in your space now. Take a few breaths in and out, start to settle down on the floor. Right, 7 o'clock. Let's get going. So keeping props to hand and then coming to lie down on your mat, as always, working with where your body is at today. So checking in with any areas of tightness as you come to lay down on the floor. Noticing if you're working with any injuries, any stress in the body. Maybe if you were doing a long run yesterday or any workouts over the weekend, training runs, maybe you were racing, whatever you're up to. It's just always a good idea to check in with how your body feels on a daily basis and work to those areas of tension, work with them and find an edge in each pose. So I will always give you options to pause, to go further. You do what's best for you. In our yoga practice, although we can be mindful about the shape and we want to be safe and using alignment that is kind to our bodies, joints and muscles, I'm less concerned about it looking a particular way. There's never only one version of doing a pose. So never be concerned about that. It's a bit easier when we're at home as well, because you're just focused on yourself. So come to close the eyes if they're not closed already. Hands can relax by either side. Maybe they come onto your lower belly. Feel the air. Using this as a physical cue can be quite useful to feel your breath coming into the body, deep into the belly. And as you inhale, your belly rises. And as you exhale, you feel it fall. Taking 5 rounds of breath, settling into a rhythmic breath pattern that works for you. Maybe this is your kind of natural ebb and flow of breath. If that's what's comfortable for you today, then brilliant, stick with that. If you'd like to work with more of a breath pattern, some breath work, some intentional breathing, then taking on a nasal breath, breathing in and out through your nose. Maybe building to counts of 4, 6, or 8. Using this opportunity to really land in your space, arrive on your mat, separating this next 30 minutes just for you from the rest of your day. No expectations, just taking yourself as you are, the energy that you have. On your next inhale, blink your eyes open. You're going to take your yoga strap, if you have it, or a resistance band. And we're going to take a foot to the sky pose, a bit more of a yin energy here. So quite passive, getting into the hamstrings. Keep your left leg long. Pull your toes up towards you on the left ankle. Bring your right knee in. And with your strap or band, and take it around the ball of your foot. Just be careful if you have it around the arch of your foot. We don't want to be pulling in too tight there in the plantar fascia. That can sometimes be uncomfortable, but you take a grip that works for you. If you've got something short, that's okay. If you've got something long, then it just means that we're asking a bit less of the arms, which is always nice. So you find a position, your right heel pushes up towards the ceiling, your right toes towards you. I'd like you to relax through the lower body if you can. So let your shoulders melt down to the floor. Don't want to be super clenched and tight, kind of lifting up and holding tension with the shoulders up. Try and relax those shoulders down. Keep soft through the face and the jaw as well. And then wrap your hands into your strap or band and gently pull. So even though we've got a position with the foot, the ankle's not really doing too much work here. We've got it into a position and the band's holding it here. So kind of not asking as much from the quads. and the leg in general actually, is we're just using the band. So we're going to stay here for 3 more breaths on this side, nice and slow. And just as you're here, then we're easing into the back body, maybe coming slightly deeper, foot pushes up higher. So that can be 2 aspects, right? Maybe we're straightening through, extending through the right knee, or maybe we keep a slight bend. We're working more into the hip and we pull the foot closer towards us. Final steady breath in and out. Nice work. Take your right foot down to the floor, ease it off. Maybe give the knee a little hug in, kick it away. We're going to switch to the left side. Always paying attention to differences between right side and left. So if you're working with any niggles, imbalances through your legs, maybe hamstrings, any injuries there, into the ankle, if you notice anything left to right side, then keep that in mind and work with it as we come into this pose. You may find it easier to straighten the leg on one side. That's totally normal. If you might find it easier to bring the leg further in towards you, that's also fine. So you just notice that, because this will play out in every movement that you take, every run that you go on. Kick your left heel towards the ceiling, left toes pull towards you, finding a comfortable position on this side, wrapping the hands in your band. Softening through the shoulders, the upper body. We're using the arms, hands on strap as an anchor. But we're not over clenching, over tightening here, staying here for 3 steady breaths. Final round of breath in and out. Try and notice it coming into the low belly. Sink deeper if it's not there yet. And ease it off. Strap to one side. We won't be using that again, so you can just pop it out of the way. Left leg down to the floor. Bend both knees. Soles of the feet find the mat. Palms face down. Again, shoulders connect to the floor, head down. Blink your eyes open. Make sure we're active and awake at this point. Press your palms down, feet into the floor. We're lifting up. Push the hips up high, engage your glutes, lifting up, half bridge pose. Hold it here for 2 breaths. Press down through your hands, press down through your feet, squeeze your bum as your hips shoot up higher, and change, release. We're going to take 2 more. Inhale to lift up with the pace of your breath. When you're there at the top, the highest point you can reach here, ankles stacking under your knees, hips pushing up high towards the ceiling, holding it here for 1 more breath in and out. Exhale, release, final 1. Press your hands down, press your feet down, lift up. Engage the back body as you power the hips up higher, lifting them as high as they will go. Knees squeeze in, draw your inner thighs towards each other. Press down through your feet, lift up and change, release. Nice work. Gently with control, you lower the back down towards the floor. Squeeze your legs in. And then we're rocking forwards. A couple of options for you here. We're coming to seated. You can roll onto one side, both knees down, maybe to the left. Swivel yourself through. Or if you've got a bit more energy this evening or today when you're catching up, place the hands down, lift up, shoot the tailbone high, feet up to the ceiling, and rock yourself all the way through to seated. Good work. So, turn to face you. You're finding an easy seat. Sit bones down on the floor, sitting up tall. Take your right hand to the floor. Press your left sit bone down. Right palm connects to the mat. Inhale, lift your left arm up. Reach over to the right side of your space. Allow your right elbow to bend. Look up, gaze up towards your left fingertips. Seated half moon. Exhale, release. Left hand down to the floor. Lift up, look up. Press your right hip bone down. It's going to want to lift up. Try and keep it glued to the mat. Right arm reaches over to the left side of your space. Left elbow bends, looking up towards your right fingertips. And release. Nice work. Walk your hands forward, coming into a little forward fold here, seated cross-legged version. To see what feels comfortable, you might want to sit on something under your sit bones here, so check in with that. We're walking the hands forward. You can either pause here, leading with the chest, keeping length to the spine. If this feels comfortable and you think, okay, I can maybe go a little bit further here, press those sit bones both down into the floor and then maybe allow the elbows to bend. So we're not compromising the position of the spine. We're not all of a sudden rounding forward. We're keeping the chest up, the eyes forward. All we're doing is bending the elbows. This is going to allow you to get a little bit deeper into the glutes, the outer hips as well. But you pause where feels good. One more breath in and out. Ease it off, walk the hands back. Seated eagle pose, Garudasana, a little bit of a shoulder stretch, working into the upper body. Inhale to lift your arms up high, palms pressed. Take your arms wide, sweep your right arm into your left, same as we do when we're standing. Cross them over, so hands come to opposite shoulders, back of hands touch, or we're crossing the hands together with the palms meeting. Finding a grip option that works here, and you pull. Hands touching, hands together, or hands pull onto your shoulders. Draw your elbows away. You're going to arch, flex the spine. So we've got the upper back pressing behind you, reaching forward, rounding down. Pull the elbows away from the body. Squeeze onto hands, squeeze onto shoulders. And release, ease off, take it to the other side. Palms reach up high, pressing overhead. Exhale, take them wide, this time left beneath right. So pausing with hands together, back of hands touch your hands to opposite shoulders. You pull onto whatever grip option you have to feel this stretch through your upper back and your shoulders. When you're there, you've got a good position. We start to round down again. Drop your chin towards your chest. Draw your elbows away from your body. Really squeezing the arms tight like ropes here, super tight. Getting rid of all the air and space between your arms. And release, ease it off. Palms reach overhead again and release. We're rocking forward, coming to find our first downward facing dog. So rocking forward from your seated position, hands slightly wider than shoulders. Spread your fingers wide. Knees start on the mat. You're going to lift your, curl your toes under. Inhale, press your floor away. You're going to hover here, lifting the knees off the floor, stacking directly beneath your hips. So we don't want the knees coming in towards each other or winging out to the side. Try and keep neutral through the hips. Breathe in and out. Exhale, hips up high, head low, downward facing dog. Start to lift your right heel, lift your left heel. You're pedaling out your down dog, working through any sticky, tight areas, through the back of the legs, the hamstrings, the calves, the lower legs, maybe into the ankles. Pausing where feels good for you here, maybe swaying the hips slightly right to left. Then come to stillness, strong arms, strong hands, pressing, connecting into the floor. Bend both knees a lot, shoot your hips up high. We're coming to a three-legged dog. Always an option to stay with the feet on the floor if that's better for you today. Press down, anchor down through your left foot. Breathe your belly in, super strong and level through both arms. Inhale to lift your right leg high. We're going to crunch through this side with control and strength as you inhale, bend your right knee, bring it all the way through, try and get it to touch your nose. So again, flexing the spine, slight rounding here, knee to nose. Exhale, release, kick it up high, three-legged dog. We're taking two more of these. Inhale to bring knee to nose. Good work, really strong, guys. Stick with it. Last one, exhale, release. Inhale, knee to nose. And now drop your right foot to the floor. We're finding a low lunge. So coming to tabletop and bringing that leg through, or sweeping it all the way, right foot lands under right knee. Lifting the spine up, hands onto your front thigh. Just allowing the hips to open, stretching through the front of your left hip. We're not staying here for too long, just one more breath. Moving back to half split, Ardha Hanumanasana pose. We're rocking back, extending through your right front leg. Flex your right ankle. So we've got the right toes pulling up towards us. If you've got props, you could have the hands lifted. That might feel better if you feel the position of the spine is compromised here, coming forwards if that's uncomfortable. So left knee beneath left hip, extended and straight through your right leg, pulling those right toes up towards you. Breathe in and out. Ease it off, walk the hands round to the side. We're pivoting here. So you're opening up to the long edge of your mat to find a side plank. Left knee lands beneath your left hip, right leg goes out long, left hand down to the floor, directly under your left shoulder. So this joint stacking here, knee under hip, wrist under shoulder, is really going to help stability. Really great for strengthening the shoulder muscles on its own anyway, but to hold a side plank, this is where we're going to get rid of any wobbling and shaking. So press down through your left hand. Inhale to reach your right arm up. Anchor down through the little toe side of your right foot. So we've got full connection to that foot to the floor. Option to stay here or choosing to extend your bottom leg for a full side plank. Reaching up, pressing down and change, release, ease it off. Left knee connects to the floor. Inhale to bring yourself back up. So shoulders over hips. We're pivoting back round to the front where we were for our half split. Good work. Rocking all the way through. Bend your right knee. Left toes curl under, we're pressing all the way up to warrior one. So straight left leg, left foot connects to the floor, turned in around 45 degrees, maybe more. Press through your right foot. Inhale, use your core as you reach up, lift up all the way, warrior two. So making sure you've got enough space here between left leg and right leg. Your left toes are turned in at a diagonal, hips as far round to the front, short edge of your mat as you can get them. Breathe in and out. One more breath here. Feeling a stretch down the outer calf into the ankle, the foot on the left side as you press down. Strong bend in your right knee. Big breath in. As you breathe out, pivot and open to the long edge of your mat. We're coming to Trikonasana, triangle pose. Right toes face the long edge of your mat. They stay where they just were, but you're straightening through your right leg. Left toes turn fully out, facing the long edge. We're here. This is where we start. Nice length to the spine. Both legs straight, both legs strong. Really good, guys. Inhale to reach forward over your right leg and your left hip pops back. Exhale, move both arms at the same time. Right hand comes to the inside of your right leg. Maybe it presses onto your right shin for balance. Inhale to lift up, reach up with this left arm. Press both feet down, squeeze the inner thighs together. If you're up for fire in your core a little bit more this evening, inhale to lift your right arm forwards as though you're holding out a tray of drinks on your right hand, trying to keep it as steady as possible. Good work, release. Drop your right hand down back to your leg, inhale, lift up. Hands to your hips, left foot meets your right at the top of your mat. Take a breath, catch your breath here. In Tadasana, mountain pose, breathing in and out steadily. Find focus and stillness. The power in our practice is being able to stay still as much as we find movement. One more breath in and out. Take your hands onto your hips. So here we're going to find a one-legged calf stretch. So using a wall, a prop around you, maybe a chair if you need for balance. I'm going to turn to face you here, but you can stay exactly where you were. Firming up through your right leg. Bend your left knee. We're going to take a catch of the left hand, left foot in your left hand. That'll make more sense. Left knee draws in super close to your right knee. So avoiding any winging out, holding the leg out to the side. Really squeeze it in. Switch on these adductor muscles, inner thighs. Kick your foot to hand, hand to foot, but we're not moving the leg back any further than this. So we're not coming into deep extension of the spine. We're not finding dancer pose, standing bow, anything like that this evening. We're stretching out the quads. Try and release your glutes on the left side if you're holding them super tight. Press down with your right foot. Bit of extra challenge here. Inhale to lift your right arm. Really strong. Good work. Drop it down. Release your left foot back to the floor. Inhale, lift your arms up high, palms press. Let's take that flow to the opposite side. Press your feet down, lift up tall, feet and legs together. Big breath in, exhale, forward fold. Hinge at the hips and lower yourself all the way down to the floor. Take your fingertips to the mat, bend your knees a lot if you need to here. Inhale, place your hands onto your shins, lift up halfway standing forward fold. You're an upside down L shape here, so your head, your shoulders, your hips are in one straight line with a lovely flat back. Extending your legs towards straight. They don't need to be straight if it's not comfortable. Breathing in and breathing out. Next, in-breath, lengthen the head forwards. As you exhale, lower your belly onto your thighs. Bring your hands onto the back of your legs. Doesn't matter how low they are here, but your elbows bend. Inhale, head comes lower to the floor. Exhale, forward fold. And you can keep a bend in your knees here. Stretching through the back as you pull hands to legs, legs to hands. Head comes lower down towards your shins. Exhale, release. Take your hands down to the floor. Stepping back, right foot, left foot. We're lowering down from plank pose. So you're in a high push-up position. Zipped in, super tight around the core, front body and back body. All your knees are down. Either way, shoulders stacked over your wrists. Uncurl your toes if you're in a half plank. If you're here and nice and high at the top, you're holding it for 3, 2, 1. Either lowering the knees first, or you pin your elbows to your rib cage. Chaturanga Dandasana, you lower all the way down to the floor. Inhale to lift, uncurl your toes. Press your feet down, lift up baby cobra. Engage your glutes as you extend through the spine, press the floor away. Breathing in and out to release. Good work. Your head connects to the mat. Press the floor down, up and back for downward facing dog. So always knowing that in down dog, you can keep bent knees, hips are high. We're looking for a straight spine. So if you feel that there's a rounding here, it's not comfortable through the back, bend the knees, play with both options, see what feels better. Look towards your hands. Keeping stable and strong through both sides. Press your right foot down. Inhale to lift your left leg high, three-legged dog. Always an option to keep the foot on the floor. But if you're sticking with this, inhale to bring your knee to your nose, round through the spine, press the floor away, squeeze your core. Exhale, let the leg go high, three-legged dog. Let's do 2 more. Good work. Inhale, bring it in close, knee to nose. Exhale, up high, release, final 1. Inhale, knee to nose. Exhale, shoot the leg up high. Nice work. Sweeping it through or come into down dog, come into tabletop, sorry, and then lifting it. Left foot beneath left knee. Lovely stuff. I told you we were going to get into the core today. I wasn't lying. So left foot beneath left knee. Inhale to come up. Low lunge on the left. So enjoying this stretch. Low lunge is such a powerful pose. We're getting into the hips. We're getting into the ankle, front leg. We're strengthening. Waking up the glutes on this side as well. 1 more breath here. Squeeze your left knee back. Squeeze your right knee forwards. Now sending the weight back for half split. Straightening through your left leg. Pull the left toes up towards you. So using props if you need to here. Hands come to the floor or maybe resting on blocks. Feeling this stretch all the way down the back of the hamstrings here. Back of the leg, maybe around the inner knee as well. It can get quite tense in the inside and the back of the knee. But enjoying this stretch. Sticking with the breath, it can feel quite strong. And then we're going to pivot, dropping the left foot down, send the right foot back behind you. I'm going to turn to this side, so I haven't got my back to you here. Right knee lands under your right hip, and we take our side plank on the right side. Right hand beneath shoulder, finding this joint stacking, strong setup position here. Anchor down through the little toe side of your left foot first. Inhale to lift your left arm high. Option to stay here or going further, extending your bottom leg for a full side plank. Either way, we press down through the feet, press the right hand into the mat, lift your hips, press them forward, squeeze your glutes, and change, release. Coming all the way back down to the floor. And we have the left leg forward. We're coming now through to warrior one on the left side. Curl your right toes under. Strength in your left side here. So press down firmly through your left foot. We find balance, we find focus and strength to lift all the way up. Anchoring down through your right foot for warrior one. Inhale to lift your arms high. Left knee tracking over left toes. Big bend in your left side. Breathing in and out. Finding triangle pose. So we straighten through your front left leg. Left toes face the front of the mat, right toes turn out. Inhale to lift the arms wide, T-shape. Inhale to reach forward over your front left leg. Exhale to move both arms at the same time. Finding a position where both legs are straight, we roll the hips. So the left hip comes under, right hip rolls on top. Either your left hand rests on your leg or presses to the inner thigh, inner knee area. We don't need to come too low down for this one. Reaching up with your right fingertips, maybe switching on strength work for the core, reaching the left arm forwards. Wherever you are, you press the floor down, squeeze your thighs together, one more breath. And change, release, nice. Inhale all the way back up. Hands to hips, step your right foot to your left, top of your mat, take a breath in. And out we return to mountain pose. Really strong work. So finding a point in front of you to focus, to find stillness, really trying not to fidget or fuss. Keeping composed. One more breath in and out. We find that quad stretch on the left side, so firming up through your left leg this time. So some single leg balancing, which is always good fun. Pressing down your left foot, kick and catch your right foot to right hand. Remembering this position with the knees, switching on these adductors, squeezing your inner thighs together. So imagine you're trying to keep hold of something like a feather or a 10-pound note in between your legs. Squeeze them super tight. Inhale to lift your left arm if the balance is there. And as you kick foot to hand, hand to foot, your right shoulder will want to start to travel back, which is all good. We can open through the chest. Staying here for 2 more breaths. Lovely, and release. Coming all the way down to the floor. Right leg goes wide. You can sit on something here if you'd like to. We're going to have a bit of work into the hips, a bit more into the inner thighs, these adductor muscles, but also the hamstring as well if you want to straighten through your right leg. So bending the left leg to a butterfly. And if you want to sit on something, then you place a block or a couple of cushions under your seat to allow a bit more space through the hips. Turn your torso. It's a bit of rotation here through the spine as we come over the right leg. If you'd like to keep the right knee bent, you can. Reach the arms up high and then forward over towards your toes. You could also use your strap actually if you had that earlier. It can be a nice way to anchor around the foot. Lead with the chest, lengthen and fold forward. You're here for 3 steady breaths. Nice and slow. So you're going to feel this on your back on the left side. So we have the erector spinae muscles running down either side of the spine. It's going to be switching on kind of the low back area. You're going to feel that the left side of your backbone. Final breath in and out. And relax, ease it off. Strap can go to the opposite side. Before we move, a bit more opening, we're going to come to a modified rock star or wild thing pose. Going to rock forward onto your left knee. Left hand comes to the floor behind you, and your left foot can pivot out behind you as well. Right foot anchors to the floor. Inhale, lift, try and reach that right arm back. Push the hips forwards. Press down through your left palm. Press the toes down on the right foot as you reach and open. And release. All the way back down. Sit bones connect to the floor. Let's switch it out to the opposite side. Right leg comes in. Left leg out to the side. Finding a position where you can move comfortably. You can keep the objective of this pose. Inhale to rotate around. So we're twisting over your left leg. Right leg comes in. Butterfly pose, half butterfly on this side. Inhale to reach the arms up. Exhale to fold forwards. The 3 steady breaths here. Hands can come to the floor, maybe grabbing onto your foot or your ankle. On your next inhale, reach up, reach beyond the toes, or pop the strap down. Right hand to the floor. So the legs are staying where they are, and we're pivoting and lifting up onto your right knee. Right foot tracks behind, left foot finds the floor. Reach down, lift up with your left arm, and see if you can gaze back to the space behind you. Left fingertips fall behind, hips push forward, reaching forward, stretching up. And change, release all the way back down. Good job. We're now lying all the way down on the floor. So in your own time, find something comfortable to rest your head. So laying down here back to where we started. Let your left leg go straight. Inhale to bring in your right. Little squeeze in of the hip flexor on the right side. Both feet are flexed. Let your knee come out towards, so it's pointing towards your armpit rather than your face. So we're going with the natural position of the hip joint here. Left hand to the outside of your right knee. Let it come across your body. Supine twist. So getting into some back rotation here, releasing through the spine, the muscles of the low back, in and around the hips. So your left hand is on the outside of your right knee, and you keep your right shoulder to the floor. And you might want to cactus your right arm, so bending at the elbow, fingertips to the head like a little cactus arm, or have it out wide. One more breath this side. Inhale to lift your right knee. One last squeeze in. Let it go. Let's take it to the left. Right leg long. You know what to do this time. Interlace the fingers, top of the shin, flex through both feet. And then taking right hand to the outside of your left knee. Left arm long, or maybe cactus that elbow. Really trying to relax through the upper body here, so not holding, clenching, lifting through the shoulders. Final breath in and out. And then inhale to bring your left knee nice and close, bringing your right, and then any final movements before we come to a rest here. So maybe massaging out through your low back, taking a full body stretch, happy baby, shoulder stand, whatever you'd like to do, kicking the legs up towards the ceiling. and finding a position of complete rest. So coming back to this idea of stillness, focus. It's really hard to keep still. Particularly when in our day-to-day lives and with our exercise and running, that we have a packed schedule, we're always on the go. So it can be really hard to slow down, can find it quite challenging. So again, not holding any expectation or feeling like we should be doing something, but just start to notice how it feels to bring your body to stillness. Closing your eyes if it's comfortable. Let your jaw sit back and heavy. Let your tongue fall away from the roof of your mouth. Melt your shoulders to the floor. Let your hips feel heavy. Feel the mat, the floor beneath your calves and your heels. In the final moments of your practice, maybe using this time to set an intention for the week ahead. If you're doing this live, if you're catching up and it's still the start of the week. Doesn't have to be something big. Two more breaths in your resting pose if you need to be on the move in your day, but you are so welcome to stay where you are, and I will close the call off for us. And gently moving hands and feet, allowing some light movement into fingers and toes, maybe a little wiggle, little shake. Just inviting your body to move, but with a shift in your energy now. Bend your knees, bring them in close, and then roll onto one side. Right hand pressing to the floor, sit yourself up with ease, keep it slow. So feeling centered in your easy seat, sit bones connecting into the mat. Inhale to lift your arms up high. Press your palms, sealing the energy, this time of your practice, whatever time you've come to catch up. Give yourself a huge well done for making the time. I hope you feel better for it. I hope you have a wonderful week ahead, and it's a pleasure to guide you through this session. Namaste. So if any of us are staying there, I'll close us off on the call. Thanks for joining, guys. Have a good week.
Thanks, Georgie.